Hello everyone and welcome to Malix Plays. I'm Malix and this is my first video. We're doing Elder Scrolls Online Beta. The game just still going through a lot of phases, so there's going to be a little bit of bugs here and there, and I'm going to kind of bring those up as we go along. I should point out this game has been already pre-recorded. It's my game, but I'm adding the audio later. So it's going to be a little bit off sync, and I think I'm going in the future to just record as I play. In any case, right now what I'm doing is playing with the character creation system, which you can see is very, very extensive. I'm enjoying it very much. You can make just about every person and every character you could possibly want, and they would all be uniquely different. The triangle system that they have that I'm showing right here is really nice as well. Like, just changing one feature to another, you get a different face almost every time, and so you can make your characters look the same but slightly different. It's pretty interesting. You know, like, it does, like, every class has its own armor system and a very unique armor. You can learn to craft other races' armor eventually through books or other means. I haven't discovered everything yet. Well, I think right now I'm showing you the body types. I'm pleased that they added a larger, like, you can have some overweight characters, and like I said, you can make your own character here. This is like, you can make an absolutely ridiculously looking character, or you can make a heroic character. This one, in the end, when I look at it now, I think it looks like the guy who played Conan and Drogo from Game of Thrones. It wasn't intentional, but it's a good look, and I might keep it when I actually get the game. Alright, so we're logging into the game itself. It's probably one of the prettiest MMOs I've ever seen. They took a lot of time and effort to make each section feel like an Elder Scrolls game, not just an MMO. And as you see, I'm just popping in. The control system is the same as you'd find in an Elder Scrolls game. Left, right, you're starting first person. You can zoom out, as I just did right here. And just kind of looking around, character stats are very simple for a game like this. Most MMOs make you have to worry about strength, stamina, speed, what have you. This one, not so much. And so we're getting right into the story. He's the prophet. Is the prophet? He reminds me a lot of just kind of the classic story you'd get from, like, most Elder Scrolls games. Someone to throw you into the beginnings and kind of give you a point and a plot point of why you're here. And this is mostly what I feel is the kind of excuse they have for doing the death. There's no permadeath in the game. When you die, you don't start over, obviously. But how do you explain that in an MMO? Well, what they're kind of setting up is that you have no soul. So I guess you can't die. There might be more to it than that. I haven't exactly looked at the lore. I've been keeping back from it. I'll explain later in another video why. And I was punching porridge for some reason. This is very much like just a very tutorial level. I'm hoping to show more with crafting and a little bit more of the side quests and adventures you can have. I'm kind of wanting just to show around where you are, which is the Cold Harbor. I believe it's in Oblivion, and you're basically in the realm of Molag Bal. You've been sacrificed and held prisoner. I'm sure the cinematic is very pretty. The beta didn't show it. But what they do show is the attention to detail that Bethesda is very famous for. And right now, this is one of my favorite things about this game. It's basically asked me to pick a weapon. It doesn't matter what class you took. I picked Dragon Knight to start with, but they have Mage, a Knight, and kind of a Templar / healer Paladin setting. As you can see, Dragon Knight is what I picked, and but after that, the class quest only gives you specialized attacks, But after that, you can pick how you play the game. You could be a mage who wears heavy armor and uses a two-handed sword, or you could be a knight who goes around using bows and arrows or a staff. And I really enjoy that option that they give us. I chose to do two-handed weapon. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it in the future. But right now, I felt like I'd give it a shot and see what I thought of it, because in some games I prefer to have two-handed weapons. And right into the action, it's very, like I said, very much like playing an Elder Scrolls game. There's no hot bar for using basic attacks. You run in, you swing your axe, you swing your swords, and you do damage, and then later on you get a hot bar for your special attacks. I'm not sure what I'm fiddling with here. I started filming this fairly late at night, but it's very much a creepy atmosphere right now, which is good for the whole story setup. There are a lot of people on right now, as you're about to see. I think most of these are NPCs. Eventually they're going to open up and you're going to see a lot of other characters running around and doing the same quest. And it's going to be the same thing on day one when it releases, or if you pre-order, the early access will be very packed. So you're going to be looking at quite a bit of backlog on the first day, or if you get into one of the betas. Right now, I've leveled up, and so I get to put points into skills, which is the 3 skills: Magicka, Stamina, and Health. I chose Health to begin with because I might go Tank. I don't know yet. It's a very simple system. And then the next thing I'm looking at is possibly putting in some points into a class item here, and I think I chose Stone Armor because it's not Stone Armor, but each class, Stone Fist. And I like the Stone Fist. It does a little bit of damage, and it doesn't seem to take too long to set up for Magicka. But you can put points into just about anything as long as you work it. So the more time I spend playing with the dual-wield swords, or axes in this case, the more points I can get into dual-wield, and the more abilities I can open up for using new attacks, new passive abilities. Same thing with armor and other items. Crafting is the same way. Crafting, actually, I'm still working on it, and I'm doing this from a fresh perspective. You can put points into skills like for finding items or making it so that maybe you can get daily supplies of your materials. But I don't think, as long as you put more points, more work into, I was going to say filming, put more work into, say, blacksmithing. The more you blacksmith, the more items you can make, the better material you can make. And overall, I prefer that to anything else. Even the one extra feature I've seen, and I'll show it later on, is that when you put more materials into the item, say you can make a level 1 helmet, you add another batch of, like, it takes 5, iron bars. You add a 6th iron bar, now it's a level 4 item. And then you can add spools of thread or anything else to imbue it even further to take it up to even a legendary class, which is fantastic. And getting back to the story, this is Lyris Titanborn. She apparently is a human who somehow got in here without being sacrificed. I didn't read too much into it. I kind of skipped ahead because I didn't want to spoil too much of the story. I want people to come in and enjoy it. And I will keep saying this over and over again, I'm sure. But I feel more like for a Let's Play, it should be about how's the gameplay, what's entertaining about it. But no, I don't want to give away spoilers. In any case, basically she's joined my party and we're going to try and free the Prophet and escape from this dungeon. As we go along, I'm just kind of exploring a little bit here. You are rewarded pretty well for exploring the world. Finding sky shards, which will get you skill points, as well as whatever else sky shards are good for. Again, I don't know too much about it. But not only that, but I mean, just getting out, like, it's not the simple thing of just, like, you have to do the quest to level up. Or, you can explore, you can, attack, and you can level and mine and do everything you want in this game like you would in Elder Scrolls Online. or rather just Elder Scrolls.
Well played, friend.
So you can see I'm not used to this first-person perspective for an online game. It would help to have a rumble pack, to be honest, because I don't know I'm getting hit half the time until I just notice that little fine red line saying where someone's hitting me from behind.
These tunnels will eventually take us to the towers of...
And I'm still a little bit iffy on all this. Like, I'm working very hard to get used to this and hopefully present better, perspective in later games. Whether it's another beta test or when the game finally officially releases, I would like to do more of these and show off more of my characters. Maybe even make a backstory for them. But for now, let's continue on. These are almost... I believe it's the refugee area. There's a lot of people who've been sacrificed, and apparently the longer it's been since the time you were sacrificed in Molyball's world, the more chance of becoming crazy you get. Obviously there's a lot of, demons and summoned creatures. The flame, I'm going to mispronounce his name, the flame Antiochs are they're pretty tough customers for starting out. Like, I mean, you take them down in a few hits, but if you don't notice, I'm taking damage from after they're dead. So, if you're not paying attention, which most of the time I'm not, you could end up being killed fairly easily. I die fairly easily on my own, and you'll see that later. As we go through, I'm just kind of showing off a little bit of the supplies. I have this set for auto loot, and that was what you saw earlier when I was fiddling with the screens, is that I don't know if it's just a beta thing or if it's going to be a permanent thing in the game, but once you turn auto loot on one character and you start a new character, you have to turn auto loot on for that character as well. I don't know if it's just for the beta and it's just not syncing right, or if they're going to change it before the game releases, and I hope they do because it just makes it easier. The other thing I haven't cared for is that the auto loot doesn't tell you what you picked up, so you have to every once in a while check your inventory for new items. Minor inconvenience, but just pointing it out. And I'm now killing a giant eyeball. The giant eyeball is apparently a Cold Harbor Sentinel whose job is to make sure nobody escapes or tries to sneak away. And by killing one, I've blinded the others. So that should make it easier for me to escape if I don't get myself killed first. And we're continuing on. And apparently I've been found out, but it doesn't matter because I just jumped off the cliff. Like I said, I was very tired when I filmed this, and I was kind of starting to rush because I had done a couple other games on my own with different characters and my friends. What ended up happening is that I really wanted just to hurry through this, so I didn't have like an hour-long video of just the tutorial. It turned out to be about a half hour instead, but I'm hoping that next time I can keep it smoothed out with showing you more and babbling less. As we go on, we're going to be, as you see, we've been stopped. We have to find another way through the area to the Prophet so we can escape. So I don't know if it was just a glitch or if another player had run through and started the second part of the quest, which opens the door or what have you. But there's normally a barrier that shows up there, so it just looks like I just went up to the door and was like, oh well, I don't know how to open it. And like I said, well, I'm rushing through this and I'm making some sloppy mistakes. Like I'm hoping next time I won't be doing this. I'll be very thorough about it. Probably better about talking in my next video. If you notice, I'm not going to be editing this a lot, so there's a lot of uhs and ums and me running over my own tongue. It's mostly because I don't know what I'm doing with audio editing yet. I'm going to learn as much as I can and improve these videos as much as I can as well. Look at new equipment, new everything. But right now, I just wanted to share this game, and I really wanted to share the fun that you can have. And like meeting Codwell here, or Cadwell. I do love the voice actor they got for him because it's a familiar one. It's a familiar voice, and you just fall in love with the character. Like, they took the time to make every character unique. For the most part. I mean, it is an MMO. So, like, you are going to meet store owners who are going to say the same things over again. But when you meet NPC characters, they're going to have their own history. They're going to talk about, you know, why they're in charge of this area, or who their enemies are. You feel more in depth than most games give you. Like, you know, I loved Star Wars, the Old Republic. To an extent, it was extremely buggy, but you had a feeling of this. You know, characters mattered. It wasn't just, you know, well, the characters on your crew mattered. They had their own stories. This game took a little bit of that and then took it further, with, you know, making NPCs that you maybe meet only once and giving them, you know, a story. Codwell's gone mad. Codwell's been there fairly long and not become feral. And so he's basically become a crazy man who sees his own little paradise in this hellish world. And this is me hoping to get a treasure chest, because this room is filled with goodies like you'd find in a normal Elder Scrolls game. But because it's an MMO, a lot of people are raiding these things very quickly, especially with a beta test, because everyone wants to get in as much time with the game as possible. And, you know, traps. Traps are a new thing. I haven't seen an MMO pull out a trap. I don't play a lot of them. I've played World of Warcraft, and I've played Star Wars The Old Republic. I've stayed away from a lot of the other ones because they tend to feel the same. But this is a new one for me. Traps, I find to be a very unique experience, especially for, you know, considering Elder Scrolls Skyrim had quite a few traps of their own. I'm enjoying this idea of you can't just run headlong in. If you don't see any monsters, there could be traps. And so, you know, onwards we go. I'm not finding a lot. Like, this is a point in the game where it's very mixed. I have had the character I made before this one, found a few chests, and this time I found one open chest, like a chest I can open. This time around, though, I found one, as I said. Backtrack a little bit. But after this one, I made I made a new character, and every chest I ran across was empty, and I ended up leaving this tutorial area for the new starting place with quite a bit of money, a ton of recipes and items that I could break down and to do crafting with. So it's kind of a mixed bag right now, but I imagine once the game has, you know, officially launched and everyone's settled in, we will have probably a good chance of starting with a bit of everything. A nice, you know, you'll probably start with a few recipes, some new armor pieces, so you don't start the game feeling like you're wearing nothing but the rags you started with. And in any case, we are in the Prophet's Prison. They have an official name for this. I don't remember what it is. But right now, this is one of the things that bugged me about the game that I'm hoping will be fixed before launch. What's about to happen is basically, I'm kind of still trying to share a story, because this is an important part. This person basically went to hell. She wasn't sacrificed. She, you know, didn't die to go there. She basically found a way to sneak herself in to get the Prophet out. The Prophet has asked me to seek her out in order to help him. And the only way she can help him is to take his place in the prison. So I give someone props for that. Even an NPC, you could have dragged a criminal in here. Someone who's killed 15 people for a sweet roll. Taking that person, taking him with you, and taking him and replaced him in that prison, and it would have been fine. But no, she didn't do that. She said, no, I'm taking the sacrifice. But getting back to my point about what I don't like is, right now I'm about to do something incredibly stupid. As you noticed before, and I said that I was very tired, and I decided I was rushing, and I fell off the cliff. Well, I'm about to fall off the cliff again. And it was mostly because of I thought I had a good grip, and then as you see here, I jump, I think I make it, and then I just kind of slide off to the side and down the cliff. But this is the part that bugs me. I now have to go through that same conversation again.
Quickly now, we haven't much time.
Because I failed. And now, like, it's a major, not a major setback. I mean, I'm sure that there's not going to be any points where it's, you know, I now have to do another 20 minutes worth of work to get back to where I was. But it's a darn inconvenience, especially for someone who likes the story and wants to be in the game and am fully immersed. So now I have to basically have a conversation with someone I've already had and go back and hit these anchor points again. And this is a minor inconvenience. This is not something that is, you know, not saying don't buy the game because of this. This is actually just a minor thing, but I would like them to fix it. In any case, I did not fall off the second time, and I was able to turn it on. And I'm still going around trying desperately to find some chests and urns or anything I can get a little bit of money off of. But I just didn't see it. And at this point, you notice there's nobody else here, which is very strange for me to see that there's no way to, you know, unlock chests now. But there it is. In any case, it's goodbye Lyra and hello profit time. And the first encounter with the fully physical form of the prophet, I thought of Shiggorath, because it just reminds me of the face a little bit. And I just was wondering if I was just about to be rickrolled or whatever else the Shiggorath might have planned for me. And I'm not a big fan of the prophet, because he basically he's like, oh, thanks for taking my place. And then he tells me I have no soul. He doesn't coddle me. I understand there's no time for that, but saying that I have no cell and I have no self, you know, I have no soul, and I'm afraid traits of my former self. And he calls me a vestige, and he's just like, so you basically call me a name I don't know, and then you tell me I have no soul and that I have some sort of destiny. Okay, but can I put you back then? Because really, you're kind of being a dick about this. I am saving your life here.
I can use one of these anchors to return us to Tamriel, but you must.
And in any case, he's talking about the anchors. If you haven't seen the cinematic trailer for the game so far, the anchors are basically the logo. The logo is basically part of that. Like the logo minus the animal heads is supposed to be one of these anchors that is basically pulling the world of Tamriel to Cold Harbor, and I guess you're wanting almost a Mortal Kombat feel, where it's one realm is trying to absorb another realm and conquer it. As of right now, I don't know as much as I should about Elder Scrolls lore, and maybe I should learn some more. It's up to the fans. If you guys think I should learn more about this and be more informed, please let me know. And otherwise, I'm just going to be playing it as the kind of person who's just starting. Alright, in any case, the map thing you just saw there was me tabbing out. It's one of the minor things that happens because Alt is used to get up to your menu. So anytime you want to like check your mail or even spend a little bit of time just off the screen for a second, it will pull up your maps and everything else. Not a big deal. Not even a major complaint. It's just something I was pointing out because I spent a lot of time on that map for no obvious reason. And this fight doesn't feel amazing to me. It does feel like I'm playing an Elder Scrolls Online game. But I felt for the fact that you took all the time to explain why my character can't physically die and stay dead, that he keeps coming back in a world that they've already specified you can't bring people back from the dead from. I feel like they should have made a point of saying that you're not the only person who doesn't have a soul. You're not the only vestige, or however he pronounced it. You're not the only, you know, Highlander of the group. I felt like it could have been a mass boss quest, like everyone's like taking hits off him. When the guy goes down, anyone who didn't get a hit can do another 2 minutes. Another 2 minutes they'll have a respawn. It gives enough time for people to get out and enjoy this. But that's just my opinion. It's still really good.
Some link them to Lorca,
there is
the missing
this
god of
feel,
creation.
and I'm hoping,
If you
and
collect
so
them
far I
and
haven't
absorb its
seen it,
power,
but I am
it
hoping
should
that they
restore
don't
your
do it as much,
corporeal form.
where they're
I
trying
will
to
summon
make
one
the
of these
game
shards for you to absorb.
feel really like you're in the story, but at the same time it takes you out of the story. An example of this was Star Wars The Old Republic, where they wanted to explain how, like, if you go to the planet Hoth, obviously your spaceship has to have special, you know, coils or whatever. You can't just go there on your own, and you know, like, you can't just land your ship there because your ship might take damage from the extreme cold. So they set up a spaceport, and from the spaceport you go down to the planet. Well, the problem with that is like, if you happen to have one of those quests that you leave the planet and come back, you're basically going from your ship to the spaceport, and then through the spaceport to the floor, and it just got to be a drag, especially if you were playing multiple characters. This moment here was just a lot of, you know, something that could have been cut down, like either, you know, him taking one side and you taking the other side to activate these portals, as I'm doing right now. Like, it's very much to say it's an objective quest, but it's over in 5 seconds. It's almost unnecessary. And I just kind of avoid that, and it's just me, you know, I'm like, I really want to get out of here. And this is fine, but I feel like it could have been. It does take me out take me out a little bit, because all I'm thinking is this is the second time I've done this quest in about 2 hours, and then I did it again right after I filmed this, and it got to drag a little bit where I just wanted to be done. These are minor complaints. This is the typical things that you get with a lot of MMOs and a lot of games. MMOs themselves are very much the same feel. And I'm going to start wrapping this up, as I am babbling a little bit, and I hope I'm not too confusing, but I'm now getting to the first city. There's 3 different starting cities for each of the factions. Now you notice that you wake up unconscious, or at least not unconscious. You wake up on the ground. You are unconscious, though, and as you can tell, I'm just kind of running around, but I forgot to talk to somebody, and I think this is about the time we're going to be wrapping this up. This is my first video. I'm hoping that you enjoyed it. Please leave me comments about how to improve, what games you'd like me to play next, and anything else you want to know. There will be a part 2 of this where I pick up right where I left off here. Hopefully I'll get some points in to talk about crafting and side quest missions, anything else. In the meantime, I hope you enjoyed it, and there will be more in the future. The page is going to get set up nice and neat and wonderful, and I think I'm going to leave it with the Prophet here, who basically just said that he dropped us on our heads and knocked us out, and doesn't know where he is, doesn't know where I am. And I got a quest, and I got a ring, and I got some money, so I can go spend some cash. Hopefully. But after all this game looks to be very promising, and I'm excited for the next video, and I'm excited for the next beta test. Hope to see you there, and I'll see you in the gaming world, I guess. Talk to you later, man.
When I found a safe haven, I will contact you again. Until then, be safe.